Elevate your business with CardSaver, your trusted partner for card payment solutions. From cutting-edge devices to custom options to fit your business needs, they've got you covered. Our business cash advance offers quick access to funds with no interest, just a simple fixed fee. From pay-as-you-earn, join businesses that use CardSaver for reliable payments and smart growth. Now, back to the pod. Hello and welcome back to the Cod Cast. Today is episode 5 and today we are joined by Mark Helm. Mark, how are we?
I'm doing well, mate. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm very well. Now, new to the football club in the summer. How's it been so far?
Yeah, I feel like I've settled in well. Lads have been really warming, really welcoming. Obviously, I knew the gaffer and Roscoe from my time at Burnley, so it felt quite easy for me to settle in. And the style of football they play as well, I think is quite suited to me. So I've enjoyed my first month or two here, yeah.
Take me back to the start of your life, really, of a lot of boys' dreams are to play football, they watch football and they want to be footballers. Take me back, was it like that for you?
Yeah, I think I knew when I was 5, 6 years old I wanted to play football. I played for my local team, Beachfield they were called, in Warrington, and I just really enjoyed playing. I really enjoyed football, training, playing. I got picked up by United when I was 7 years old there, and I was there for 12 years, and then moved on to Burnley, Burton, and now I'm here.
When you're 7 years of age, how does a club like Man United come into you? How does that something come about? How do they pick you up?
So I was just playing, enjoying my football at my local team, and they have scouts at the games from time to time, and luckily I had a good game and there was a scout there. So yeah, he spoke to my parents, and my dad was a United fan, so it was a no-brainer for me to go in there and train there.
What was that like around school at a young age? Was it hard to concentrate on school when you go into training, a couple of nights a week?
Yeah, it puts stress on your parents, I think, because they have to drive you in, and I don't think when you're younger you realise that at the time. I've only started to appreciate that now. Yeah. I've become a bit older, but yeah, I've got brothers and sisters as well, so when they were driving me to and from training, it was hard for them to obviously get on with their work as well, but they made it happen and helped me get to where I am today, and I'm very, very grateful for what they did for me.
When you're younger, how many days a week are you training? Because at 7 years of age, you've barely started school, the basics of life.
Yeah, so I think you're in Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then Saturdays and play Sundays in the academy system anyway. And obviously local teams, it's a night a week and you play. But it is a lot at such a young age, like you say, when you've got other things like homework, and obviously you want to hang around with your pals as well, but sometimes you have to make those sacrifices from a young age.
At what point did you start to realise you're playing for Manchester United and it's not football anymore? It's not just a laugh and a joke when you're playing for Beachfield, on a Sunday morning or a Saturday morning as well.
Yeah, I think it's when you see what facilities are on offer there, definitely, because they've obviously got state-of-the-art stuff at Manchester United, and you're obviously up against the best in your age group as well, because they can bring international players in the further up you get from under 16s onwards. So they're bringing the best of Europe, maybe in the world, of your age group. So it's never really a laugh and a joke in the first place. It's your job at the end of the day. So you've got to put everything into it day in, day out.
When are the standards drilled into you? When are they saying, well, this is what's expected of you, this is what you need to eat, this is what you need to do away from training? Is it straight away, or is it as you get a little bit older?
Definitely as you get a bit older. I think when your scholarship starts, so that's when you're 16 and leave secondary school, it's very, very ramped up then. You get sort of a diet plan, get told what to do and what not to do. Even things like recovery, you obviously learn about it when you're younger, but when you're in every day, rather than just a couple of nights a week, you definitely have to start looking after your body a bit better. Ice baths, eating properly, nutrition, all that sort of thing. So scholarships, definitely that sort of time when you take things a lot more seriously.
So obviously leaving school is a very difficult decision, and instead of going to college and going down the education platform, leaving for a scholar at one of the biggest clubs in Europe, if not the biggest, was that a gamble? Because football isn't always this pretty game that's sometimes displayed.
No, it's not. It's not always guaranteed in life, and like I said, it's not always guaranteed in football either. You could go into your scholarship in the first week and break your leg, and you're out for a year. You've seen some of the lads this season; they've done some bad injuries, and you're missing a considerable amount of time. And when they're meant to be the years you're meant to be progressing and kicking on in football, to be sidelined for a considerable amount of time definitely doesn't help you. And when all your pals are going to uni and university and things like that, and you're in full-time football, you can miss out on a few things. But when it's something that you want to do and you've worked towards for your whole life, it's really hard to pass that opportunity up.
Talk to me about some of the key moments, while at that club, and who were the big influences on you there as well?
So I always remember under 16s, we went to Hong Kong on like an international trip that was sponsored by the race course there, I think, and that was just an unbelievable experience. Not only did we train there, but we did some things away from the football pitch as well, like cooking classes and stuff like that. But it was just a real eye-opening experience. And I remember going to Germany. There's a five-a-side tournament that happens there. I think that's under 14s or 15s level, and that's a really, really good experience and football tournament too. And it's throughout the years you always have a trip, whether it's to Italy or Holland, and you get to go and see a different part of the world. And I felt really privileged to be able to do that from such a young age and with such a big and great football club as well.
Signing your first pro deal, how does that something come about? Because it's not just a signature on a piece of paper. It is at the end of the day, but overall there's a lot of work that goes into it. How did that come about for you?
I was just playing under 18s football. We play every Saturday there, and I was doing okay. I don't really like to say how well I'm doing, but I was doing okay. And I just remember my agent ringing me one day and just saying they want to offer you a deal. Yeah. And I told my dad and my mum straight away. They were both over the moon because it's something you work towards your whole life. And when it finally comes off, it's such a great feeling. But I also thought the work's not done. It's only the start because I was only 18 years old, so you've just got to kick on and keep going from there. After that,
what kind of was the experiences? Because it wasn't shortly after that you left. Obviously went to Burnley, which we'll touch on in a minute.
Yeah, I think 23s football is a completely different ball game to 18s football. You've got first team players who sometimes come down from these big clubs who aren't getting minutes at first team level, so they come and get minutes in the 21s, and it shows the level really that you've got to get to. It's not easy, yeah. It's not easy, but it's a great experience to be able to play 23s football and a club like Manchester United as well.
The Bristol Street Motors competition gets a lot of, not slander, but it's not seen in a great light by supporters. How important is that for young players playing up against, experienced players or squad players at League One and League Two level, a couple of times a season?
Yeah, I'll be honest. At the 21s teams, I would say it's your biggest games of the season. It's a men's football competition, and you get a real taste as to what is coming for you, because not everyone's good enough, or sometimes there's luck involved, but to get to the first team of the academy that you're playing at, so it's good to get a taster of what men's football is like in the EFL. And every time we had one of them games, we prepared properly and we wanted to go out and beat them. And I know, having experienced it now, being at the EFL clubs, sometimes we want to focus on the league and other games like that, but every game's just as important as each other. So 21s teams though find it a big competition, yeah.
How much influence did the first team players at Manchester United have on you? Did you see them? Did you see the management staff there? Because while you were there were some big names.
No, yeah, there was. I was fortunate enough to go over and do a few sessions with them on an international break, and sometimes they would get the 21s team up to do a bit of shape with them. But even seeing just their standards around the buildings, how they acted around the canteen and things like that, is something you can look up to and try and model yourself on throughout the rest of your career, definitely.
Leaving Manchester United, how did that come about to go to Burnley?
So my contract was expiring, my professional deal at Manchester United, and I spoke to my agent and they said, Burnley are really keen for you, and I went over to see the facilities there, and I spoke to the 23s manager there, Steve Stone at the time, and it was a no-brainer for me to go there.
What was that like as a club for you? Because they have this persona of surviving, staying in games, legs, hearts, minds is the motto of that football club. How did you find it there?
I'll be honest, I think it was the exact thing I needed for my career. I'd spent a lot of time at United, and as you know, they try and play football there. And I'm not disrespecting Burnley and saying they don't try and play football, but it's exactly what I needed for my game. Yeah. Second balls, headers, tackles, really getting into the thick of it, because it's not realistic that you're going to have the ball for 90 minutes of a game all the time. So it's really something that I needed for my development and my career.
You mentioned previously that was the first time that you met the gaffer, Charlie Adam, and Roscoe as well. What was your first impression of them two? Because obviously Ross Wallace was there previously, he played 150 times for Burnley, was there for 5 years. Charlie Adam, first real kind of coaching degree, outside of football. How did you find them two?
No, it was really good for me. As you know, the gaffer's a midfielder, so I took a lot of tips and pointers from him throughout his time there. And it was just, like I said, with the first team players back at United, it was something to role model yourself on, and someone to look up to who'd been in the game and done it and played however many times he's played in the Premier League at the highest level. And with Roscoe as well, you can still see he's got a bit now on the training pitch. I think he could still play, but it's definitely nice coming into here and knowing them, and having known them from Burnley as well.
Leaving Burnley to join Burton Albion in League One, you said Burnley was what you needed. Is that what you now needed to go to Burton to go and play regular games, men's football?
100%. The people call it the dark arts, the tough side of the game. It definitely set me up for my career at Burton and my year and a half there, because I didn't think it was going to be easy, but there's a lot of men in the league, and you've got to be physically and mentally ready to deal with the pressures that they'll put onto you.
What are the key differences between under-23s football and men's football?
I definitely think the men's game's a lot more fast-paced. You get a lot more direct balls played onto you, and I think it's a lot more about territory as well. People trying to win throw-ins, set pieces are a lot more of a threat in the men's game. You see centre-halves come up and, like I say, territory. You're trying to get up the pitch and keep people away from your goal, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of your first games at Burton, you lose 4-0 home to Shrewsbury. Was that a real eye-opener, thinking, wow, this is men's football, you make a couple of mistakes and you get punished?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think we were 1-0 down within a minute in that game, and I just thought one mistake, and I think it was Sadie at Shrewsbury. He's rounded the keeper and stuck it in the back of the net, and he had another chance just before half-time, and he's buried that in the box as well, and I've just thought, it's ruthless, clinical. It was hard, and it was a bit of an eye-opener for me, but I felt like I adapted well over my time there.
I think it was either your first one or one of your first ones, victories, was at Highbury, where in a mental game where Fleetwood go a goal up and then Burton score, and then you go 2-1 up and then Fleetwood equalise, Josh Vella gets sent off, then it's a last-minute winner. That end of the season for Burton won 10 out of 20, and I think they were ranked 7th in the division after that, winning 10 out of 20. Yeah. What was it like under Dino Manria, because he is a manager that improves players, and he does improve squads from maybe that are struggling, lost away a little bit, and then gets them playing a certain style of football and keeps them up?
Yeah, he took a bit of a gamble in the January. I don't know whether he saw it as a gamble, but he brought in a lot of players who hadn't played men's football. He had me, Dale Taylor came in, who was at Wickham last year, Zach Ashworth, Jasper Moon had played a bit for Barnsley, but he hadn't played a lot of games. And we all sort of gelled together very quickly. And you probably saw that the 3-2 win that we had at your place. We had that sort of never say die spirit. And working with Dino was good for me. It was just good for me to be in the men's game, to be honest, and racking up league appearances, because that's what I needed at the age I was at.
How difficult was last season? You played under two different managers in Dino Manria, Martin Patterson, and then obviously a temporary manager for about a month as well. Struggling in the league, there was some good results in there. You obviously went back-to-back at Bristol Rovers away, Leyton Orient away, and then from about January to April, maybe lost your way a little bit. Yeah,
we did. You know, it's never easy in football, and especially when you go through results like that, it's never easy to stay positive. But you have to band together as a group of lads and try and get results and try and get points. And it's not, we didn't do it how we would have liked to have done it. It wasn't pretty. We lost obviously at Highbury the last game of the season, and that was a crucial game for us to try and stay up. But luckily Stevenage beat Cheltenham at home, and we did end up staying up. But it's never nice to be involved in that end of the table.
How was the nerves on that last day of the season? Fleetwood have been involved in some of those games over recent years, and they've not been pretty, to say the least.
No, they're not nice to play in at all. I was saying to one of the coaching staff, it's probably the biggest game I've ever played in my career, that last game of the season, because we knew what was on the line and we knew what we had to do. But Fleetwood were really good that day, to be fair to them, and we couldn't cope with them.
Did you know anything about interest from Fleetwood that day that you played?
Not really, no. Obviously, I did know the gaffer. I spoke to him after the game, but nothing really materialised of it. It came a bit later on in the window, to be fair.
Leaving Burton Albion in the summer, they've had a massive rebuild this year. I think when you look at the squad from last year, Crocombe and Sweeney, the main two that are still there. Was leaving tough for you?
I think it was the right time for me to go. I had a good year and a half there, and I felt like I helped to keep them up in the 2 years that I was there, season and a half, and I feel like I was ready for a new challenge. And Fleetwood came knocking on the door, and there was an offer I couldn't refuse.
Obviously, interest shown in you in the summer, but you haven't got a club. A lot of players, when they're contracted to a club, get a plan, a training plan. How do you kind of stay in shape, stay match fit?
Yeah, so there's two guys I use near where I live. I live in Manchester. Ben Mangan's one of them, and Rick Bell's the other. And I try and do a couple of sessions a week with them. It's always important to have some downtime as soon as the season's done, don't get me wrong. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but then after that you've got to really kick on and try and get a bit of sharpness back. So I'll play a few cage games with the lads, and I'll do a few one-on-one sessions as well, shooting with the keeper, just to try and get that sharpness back. But I felt like when I came in here I was ready to kick on.
How did you first hear about the interest from Fleetwood Town?
I think my agent rang me and just said, the gaffer has rang me and said, I think you just got on Mature had just sold, and he just said Fleetwood can do it. Would you be interested? And I said I'd love to work with them again. So tried to get it done and happen as quick as possible.
What did you know about the football club? Obviously you played against us twice last year, but other than that, what was your general overview, thought process on Fleetwood Town?
They've always been a good team. Every time I've played against them, we've had a good game. They've always had good players. I didn't know an awful lot about the players that were here. I just knew that they could play football, and I knew that the gaffer would have a plan to be playing football this season and to be fighting at the top end of the table, which would be nice.
Absolutely so. What was your first impressions of Pulfoot? Because you look at it, the pitch behind us, everything's in one house. I think you said that when you actually signed. What was your first impressions of it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I think this is like a championship level facility. You've got everything you need there. Gym, obviously the pitches are mint. You've got the restaurant here. It's you couldn't ask for anything better to come in and improve every day. and I think you've got the groundwork for it here. It's perfect for us as players, definitely.
So Charlie Adam, when he first signed you, often says about players, I want this from them. I want them to be a good lad, a good character. Did he drill the standards into you, what he wanted and what he expected?
Yeah, he did. Obviously, I missed a chunk of pre-season with the lads. They went away to play against St Mirren. I think they had a game against Rochdale and a couple of other games as well. But a lot of football clubs, gaffers and managers expect a lot of the same things from players. A lot of the standards are the same. Little things like cleaning your plate away after food and respecting people around the building, and that's exactly the same here. I didn't expect it to change at all.
And what are your personal aims for this season? You got off to an absolute flyer, great ball in from Mackenzie, for a great finish from you, getting into the box and putting it into the corner. But other than that, what are your overall aims for the season? Is it to kick on from that?
Yeah, definitely. I want to score more goals. I love the feeling of scoring goals, and I love helping the team out as well. So I definitely want more goals. I need to add that to my game, and I just want to win football matches. I want to try and get automatics. We want to challenge for playoffs. I just want to try and win as many games of football as possible.
Can I ask you, you played in League One and played in League Two. What would you say the differences so far that you're finding? Is there a drop-off in certain things, or is it a bit more scrappy in this division?
I feel like in League Two, you actually have a bit less time on the ball. I feel like the pressing is maybe not frantic, but a bit more aggressive. They're trying to get you to kick the ball forwards or move the ball on. I feel like in League One, maybe you had a bit more time on the ball. But I don't think the standard is dramatically different at all.
And what are your personal goals for the season? Have you set yourself a goal target?
Yeah, I want to get double digits for goals. I need to try and keep the yellow cards down. I've had a few.
You won away, I think.
I know, I've had a few recently, so I need to try and cut them right down. And I'll just reiterate again, I want to win football matches. Obviously, I had a good time at Burton, and I've come here and I want to kick on now, and I want to win stuff and get promotions. So hopefully we can challenge for that this season.
What's the mood like in the dressing room when you've won a game of football? We won away from home recently, away at Carlisle in a 5-goal thriller. What's it like? Is it buzzing?
Yeah, you come in, you obviously give everyone pats on the back, say well done, and you just get the tunes on in the dressing room, and it's a real feel-good factor. Obviously, we're really disappointed on Monday. Sort of felt like a loss to us because we played so well in the first half to then concede 2 goals.
Brendan Wiradu, I've heard, is kind of king of the tunes around here. Does he actually play some good stuff? Because he tells me he does, but I'm not entirely convinced.
I'll be honest with you, since I've come in, I've sort of taken the DJ spot off him. I like to get my own stuff on. I like house music and techno music, and I've tried to bring a bit of that into the dressing room before the games. I've had mixed opinions on it, I'll be honest with you.
Do you listen to requests, or no,
I'll play my own stuff, and I think if you like it, then you like it. If you don't like it, then you can't please everyone, can you?
Oh, absolutely. We're going to go on to some quick-fire questions, if that's okay.
That's fine, yeah.
Who would you say is your best mate in football?
Well, that's a big question. I'm going to let a few people down here. Best mate in football? I don't think I have one. I think I have multiple friends, but I wouldn't say there's one that's the best for me.
I tell you what, these footballers are cop-outs. Brendan Wiradu couldn't answer that question. He gave me a list of about 10, but he did get to an answer in the end. Describe Mark Helm in one word.
Dry.
Okay. I like that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? You're only 22 now, so you've got a career ahead of you.
I want to play as high up as possible. I want to obviously do as well as I can here. Try and get Fleetwood back into League One. And hopefully I'll be playing in the Championship. That's where I want to play. I want to...
Perfect. What was your initiation song when you first joined?
I sang I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys.
I like that. Was you good?
And that was shocking.
What did the lads think?
I think I got laughed off the chair, to be honest. You stand up on a chair, so I don't think they were happy with it, no.
Do you have music behind you, or do you have to do it without?
So that's the thing, you can pick. You can either have the backing track, you can have the lyrics up in front of you if you want, or some people just stand there and just go for it.
How do they work? Do you do them on like an away trip, or do you do them in the dressing room?
It's always the away trip. So first away trip, sound still goes through me. You'll be eating your dinner on the Friday night, and then someone's taps the old glass with the knife.
Oh, God.
And then you know if you have to sing or not because it's your first trip, and then you stand up on the chair and it's just a minute of hell.
Who would you say is the best initiation song you've seen in the dressing room here? 'Cause we've only made a few signings since obviously you've come in.
To be fair, I was having Meepos. He sang George Ezra. Shotgun.
Did he?
He did, yeah.
Wow.
He was quite good, to be fair.
Who
But
would
I missed a lot of them, didn't I? Because I signed a bit later on.
Who would you say is the best you've seen in general then?
Best I've seen in general. I've not actually seen him. He did sing a bit the day I sung, but Brad
Yes,
the physio, apparently has got a bit. I don't know what he sung or anything, but apparently he's really good.
I'm going to need to see evidence of this because I'm hearing a lot about this. Who was your inspiration growing up?
I love watching Messi when I was younger. Love watching Messi. He's just the best player in the world and that has ever been, in my opinion.
Who did you support growing up?
Manchester United.
Don't worry, we've all got to have our faults. What's the series you're currently watching?
Currently watching right now. Just finished. Is it 9 Perfect Strangers, the one on Netflix?
Okay.
Have you seen it?
I've not seen it. I'm not a Netflix type of person, to be fair.
I just watch stuff on repeat though. I always watch, like, have you heard of Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
I love stuff like that, so I just have that on in the background whenever I'm doing stuff.
What do you do on a day off?
Typical day off for me. We'll get up and walk the dog normally. We've got a little cocker spaniel called Bruno, so we'll take him out.
After Fernandez?
No, it's not actually. Amelia, my girlfriend, named him, but we'll take him out. Probably go and get a coffee whilst we're taking him out, and then we'll just chill out for the rest of the day normally. Watch a bit of TV, maybe go out for some food in the evening.
Best ground you've played at?
Best ground I've played at, I would probably say I like Pride Park, but Portman Road.
Yes.
The atmosphere was unbelievable.
It's a very unique stadium, Portman Road. We went there a few times and won on a Tuesday night. That was brilliant. Best player you played with and against?
Best player I played with? Maybe Danny. Danny's a good player.
Very good.
Against probably Jude Bellingham.
It's not bad, is it?
When I was younger, yeah. It's not bad.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Fly. I've always wanted to be able to fly.
Fly into the box, score 20 a season.
30 maybe, yeah. I'd say that.
What would you say is the most memorable game you've played in?
It'd have to be when I scored my first 2 professional goals. We beat Chef Wednesday 3-2 at home.
Yes, I
and
remember
I got a brace
that
that day. Definitely my most memorable, I think.
Yeah, they were going for the playoffs that year.
They were, yeah.
A really good side. What would you say is on your bucket list? One thing you want to do, but you can't say in football. Nothing to do with football.
No. Maybe skiing.
Okay.
My girlfriend likes skiing a lot. But we can't really go because of the risk of injury and stuff like that. So,
it's one for you.
yeah, maybe when I retire, I'd like to go skiing.
What would you say your cheat meal is?
Cheat meal. I am partial to a McDonald's, to be fair.
Okay, what do you go for?
I'll go for selects, chicken selects, chips. Maybe throw a mayo chicken in there if I'm feeling hungry.
I've got one more for you, and I've got some of your teammates as well. If you had a celebrity dinner party, you can invite 3 guests. Who would you go for? You can be live or dead as well.
Alive or dead?
Yeah.
Probably Murr from the Impractical Jokers.
Okay.
I would have him there. Anyone.
You can have anyone, live or dead. Doesn't even need to be in football.
No. Put me on the spot a bit, yeah.
We can cut it, don't worry.
Can you?
Yeah. So
Perfect. I'm struggling to think of people here, to be honest.
we'll leave that one, don't worry. So on your teammates then, who would you say is the funniest in the changing room?
Funniest?
Yes.
Probably Mackenzie Hunt for me.
Yeah. Do you drive in with Mackenzie?
I do, yeah. So I've got the car school. It's me, Mackenzie, Matty Virtue, and James Bolton.
What's that like?
Yeah, it's good crack, to be fair. It's quiet in the mornings, not a lot said. I think a few of the lads are tired at late nights or whatever. But on the way back, it gets bouncing, to be fair. Sometimes we'll get a quiz going.
All right.
I'm a bit of a question master, so I'll ask a few of the lads. General knowledge or football questions, but it's good crack, yeah.
Who would you say has got the best general knowledge out of the four of you?
Definitely not Bolts.
Yeah,
I'll say that
poor,
for free.
poor.
Matty's quite smart, so I'll probably have to say Matty.
Do you kind of take it in turns to drive, or is it just...
Yeah, I take it in turns. I think Bolts drove today. It's my drive tomorrow. Just do one on, one off, basically.
Going back to that, who would you say is the smartest player in the squad?
In the whole squad?
Yeah.
Smartest player in the squad? Maybe CJ.
Okay.
CJ's quite a switched on guy.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the worst dressed in the squad? Obviously, away from tracksuits and...
Yeah, worst dressed. Maybe Davey.
Okay.
Maybe Davey. I don't think anyone's got a terrible dress sense, though. I've never seen anyone like hammered for their gear or anything like that.
Now, if I had to put you on the spot, who would you say has got the worst trim in the squad?
Worst trim?
Yeah.
Maybe Broomy.
Okay.
Maybe Broomy.
Oh, Ryan, what can we say about that? Who would you say is the quickest in the squad?
Brendan.
Strongest in the squad?
Bolts.
Best first touch?
Danny.
If you were stuck on an island and you could take one teammate with you, who would you take?
Just trying to think who's in there.
It's difficult because you can either go for a mate to keep you company or someone that you can think, maybe like a CJ that can think, how are we going to get out of this situation?
I'd probably take Hunty, Mackenzie.
Yeah, so you got your buddy there as well.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the best gamer in the squad?
Best gamer? Apart from myself, probably Hunty as well.
Do you all play like games like of an evening to chill out?
Me and Hunty will play COD sometimes together. Bolts actually came on with us the other day, but I don't know if he'll be invited to play with us
Is
again.
he poor?
Worse than poor.
Yeah.
Horrendous.
Yeah. Who would you say is the biggest away day sleeper that might kind of drift off in an away game on the couch?
Have a sleep. I always see Phoenix sleeping on the bus. Phoenix has a sleep. Bonzi sleeps as well, I think, on the bus. And Meepo, actually. Meepo sleeps a lot.
Does he?
Yeah.
Who would you say is the best dressed?
Best dressed?
Yeah.
Best dressed. Meepo's got a good style.
Has he?
Yeah, I like his style. Yeah, probably Meepo for me.
I've heard about a kind of there's a golf school and a dart school here. Is it good in the dressing room? Would you say he's the best at kind of darts and golf in the changing room?
I've always said I'm in the top 3 darts players.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's your average? Because I'm a bit. Well, I'll say I'm a darts player, but I'm not great. But what would you say your average is?
Probably average 60.
A lot more than me then.
50, 60, yeah.
You've got a few 180s.
No, I've never had a 180.
Have you not?
No, I've never had a 180. But it's coming one day, I think. I've only really started playing darts since I came here.
Okay.
The lads love playing it, so I just thought I'd get involved with that. And who else is good? CJ's good at darts, and Hunty's very good. And Benno's good as well, actually. Reece Bennett's good. They're probably the top 3.
And finally, if you had to message to supporters, we are only 6 games in now, 40 to go, plus cup games. What would that be?
Keep the support as it's been the first however many games we've just played. We know you're right behind us, home and away, and we'll keep delivering if you guys keep supporting.
Mark, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you very much for watching. Please give us a like if you're on YouTube, a follow if you're on Spotify, and let us know who you'd like to see come on next.